Thanks, everybody. We'll get started on our PIES meeting for today. The first thing we have on the agenda for discussion is Aquifer Protection Area with Marlene Feist.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I hope I grabbed the right version of the PowerPoint. If not, you have the Climate Board version, but it still says the same stuff. So thanks for letting us talk about this. I'm using this as my director's report, but will ultimately would require a resolution by City Council. And also joining me today is Kyle Tuig, who, as you remember, was our engineering services director for a long time and is at the county doing their public works. So he can answer any questions that you have for him too. Oh, no way, this is the current one. So anyway, we have the opportunity to join the county's aquifer protection area. The current authorization for that area expires at the end of 2025, and the county will ask voters to renew the aquifer protection area. So we could potentially join in, and council would need to pass a resolution allowing the county to put that before city voters. And we'll talk about what that is. Oops, wrong way. So aquifer protection areas are authorized by state law in Chapter 3636 of the RCW. It allows fees expressed as a dollar amount per household unit for the withdrawal of water and for on-site sewage disposal. So for the city, primarily, it's just on the water side, right? And fees can pay for lots of things. Preparation of planning around ways to protect the aquifer, construction of facilities that would protect water quality, like stormwater management features, wastewater features. It could be other things around the drinking water system, monitoring and inspecting of facilities over the aquifer, measuring for contaminants, public education, and we have some of those things happening, many of those things happening already within the area of the county that has it. So this is our aquifer, just for a reminder. And what we're talking about primarily is, of course, the aquifer that's on the Washington side of the border. Spokane County has had an aquifer protection area for 40 years. The city was part of the original APA, but didn't participate when the APA was renewed in 2004. The county's APA charges residential properties $15 a year for properties connected to drinking water and $15 a year for those who are not connected to sewage treatment. So again, in the city, primarily it's just that $15. And commercial properties pay based on their meter size. And their funding, they've done a lot around education, including education at if you've ever been to the county's treatment facility, they have a great education area. They also have an education area at Saltese Flats these days, which is interesting. And they've done a lot of septic tank removal over the aquifer and really long-term monitoring of pollutants. And if you talk to our water quality folks, they rely on that data a lot to get good information particularly about things like nitrates and chlorides. So here is just to give you the idea of the non-residential. So there's the different meter sizes and what the costs are for commercial properties. And those are annual costs, not monthly costs. This is what the county's APA looks like today. So you saw where the aquifer was. This is really, they have to go by census tracts or precincts, voter precincts. So that's why the boundaries are a little bit odd. And then the idea would be to add the city to that map. So obviously protection of our sole source aquifer is really important to the city of Spokane. We're the largest water provider in the region, providing up to 150 million gallons a day of water to our 230,000 residents plus visitors and businesses. And so for us, what we see as potential uses could be investing in infrastructure that addresses pollutants of concern, such as PFAS, which has been a major conversation lately. Controlling stormwater in both our separated and in our combined sewer areas. Delivering projects that would mitigate the impacts of climate change. We've talked about the need perhaps for us to go deeper with our wells over time. Public education, also relating to the aquifer and best management practices over it. The Aquifer Protection Area would raise about $1.8 million a year for the city. A portion of the proceeds that we get from that actually go to centralized education and monitoring that the county's managed for 40 years. That's provided us with a lot of data, so we would intend to continue to support that. So the Climate Resilience and Sustainability Board heard this at their meeting last week. They got a briefing in February and then got more information and voted on a resolution recommending that the council proceed with placing the item on the ballot. The mayor is also supportive. The council would need to do that, you would need to adopt a resolution, which is in your PIES agenda packet, agreeing to place the issue before voters. We would also enter into an ILA with the county on how that would work. And then it would be actually the commission that places it on the ballot over the jurisdictions that authorize it to do that.
And I'm assuming they would ask us to share the cost if we join in?
Of putting it on the
Of
ballot?
Putting it on the ballot?
I don't think we've had that conversation.
Yeah, we didn't budget for election expenses in that way, so we'll have to find the money somewhere if that's the case.
Good afternoon, City Council members. My name is Kyle Tuig. I'm the Senior Director of Public Works for Spokane County. At this point, it is the Spokane County that is leading the way on this ballot measure because we are the ones who have to hold it. We did not budget with the intention of any of the other jurisdictions participating in the cost for the ballot measure. I think we could have some conversations about educating our constituents and how that works out. But as far as the formalized cost of the ballot measure, we have not budgeted for any participation from the other jurisdictions.
Okay.
So we can get that amount for you, because once you put it on, we're looking at the primary in August, and so we can figure out the ballot costs and get that to council before you would vote on the resolution.
And is it $15 a year or a month? What?
$15 a year.
Okay.
And it goes on your property tax bill. So it's not a separate bill that comes to you.
But it was per household unit, so how does that work for folks who are in an apartment? It would still be $15 assessed to them,
It would
correct?
be based on the meter size to the facility.
Gotcha.
So I guess if it would go to the owner of the property then, not to each
It would go to
tenant?
the owner of the property in a multifamily situation, yes.
Yeah, get passed on, yeah, okay.
Are there any jurisdictions in the area that are like not interested in participating at all, or is it, this is welcoming the city of Spokane back home and now we're rejoining the effort?
Yeah, so the Valley and Millwood and Liberty Lake have been part of the Aquifer Protection Area. And I know that Kyle's having conversations with the other jurisdictions as well to assess their interest in continuing. And it looks positive to this point.
Sorry if you don't mind. And so this money would basically help us do work that we're currently already doing, but maybe in a greater capacity, or?
Right,
Yeah.
so, like the education opportunities help us meet regulatory requirements under our stormwater and wastewater permits. We can also use it toward stormwater management that we have to do anyway. So this would be another revenue source for us to help protect the aquifer. We know there's other costs coming as we deal with regulatory compliance around particularly contaminants. And so this would be a way for us to be able to help manage those needs.
That was going to be the thing that I said there, is that I know that as the state continues to ask us to monitor for more different, contaminants, this would be a fair way for us to pay for some of the technology that might not even exist today, but to make sure that we can do that.
Yeah, and we've had really good success with the combined sewer system, but there could be tweaks along the way that we need to scalp off a little more water, or we need to make sure that we're getting good infiltration on a green infrastructure type piece. So those kinds of things, that would be available for.
What about in the PDAs? Would there be an allocation that specifically goes to them? Stormwater is a pretty big issue in the PDAs.
I have not, right now it's just money that would come in, and I guess we could decide how we would allocate the spend of that money. So first, we're just asking voters whether they would want to approve it. I haven't, council could probably set sub areas if you wanted to out of how the funding could come in, but I don't have any specific
presumably,
roadmap that way.
The education campaign would require us to tell voters exactly how we'd spend the money, so we have to have a plan on that in advance of the vote, I'm assuming. I mean, I certainly would need to see one, so that'd be important to me. But I just, since it's part of the property tax and taxes stay 75-25 in the PDAs, that's why I was asking if there'd be a
It's not part of
distribution.
it's on your property tax bill. It's not considered a property tax. It's a fee for the aquifer protection area.
Okay.
So the county area excludes the city right now?
Correct.
So city residents aren't paying into the efforts that the rest of the county is already doing for
So
that?
yeah, you saw the map, which portions of the county, they had to do it by, as I think Kyle said, voter precinct. That's the portion that because that is the portion of, that's directly over the aquifer. That's why that portion was selected, and obviously Liberty Lake's in there, City of the Valley's in there, and then we would add you can see kind of most of the outline of the city with that.
Yeah, that's what's fun about this map is if you look on the west side of this, you can see all the city boundaries there removed. You can see the outline of it.
Yeah.
And then does North Idaho do anything similar to protect the aquifer for the part that they're over?
I don't know if they have a similar protection area, but we certainly could look into that, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Marlene.
All right, thank you.
If you don't have a bingo card, you might want to grab them. Marlene said at least 2 words that could be on your bingo card. And then our next topic is the fire protection and water availability issue with Lauren Cyril.
And I am doing that because Lauren had a conflict. So you get me. So if you have more technical questions, I have backup.
Nice.
So this topic came up sort of in light of the horrible fires that happened in LA County. So the question from Councilmember Klitsky and I think Councilmember Bingle and perhaps others was, what happens? Can we talk about how resilient our water system is to handle a fire? Hopefully never like that, but what do we do around wildfire? And obviously we had our own fire in the Medical Lake area and then one up north, not fortunately nearly as devastating as what happened in LA County, but certainly devastating for those that were impacted. So what happened in California, as you know, there are multiple blazes fueled by really dry conditions and high winds, Santa Ana winds of 100 miles an hour, right? The severe winds grounded the aircraft, which is one of our primary ways that we deal with wildfire. And these are wildfires in urban areas, but this is, so normally you're using those aircraft, but those were grounded because of the wind conditions. And so the firefighters could only rely on hydrants and other things that they could do, within, on the ground. And let's talk a little bit about how, so they were consuming 4 times their water system's normal water use, and within 15 hours, 3 of the tanks began to run dry. And we'll show you kind of how tanks work, which will make more sense. And then, part of this was literally even if the water had been in the hydrant, the firefighters couldn't get into the area, right? It was a wall of fire. And then access was further obstructed by abandoned vehicles all over the place. So how do you get a fire truck into an area where people have just left their vehicles? So there was a multitude of issues there. We're not going to be able to go into all of those because I'm not the expert on that, but just, that's kind of the scene setting, right? So we operate in a gravity and pressure zone system. We can have unpredictable weather conditions. And the Medical Lake fires are somewhat similar with unprecedented demand. And one thing that we always like to point out too is people, when they are asked to evacuate, often leave their sprinklers running thinking they are going to save their house. Primarily what they do is run the tank dry so that the firefighters can't use the water, or they greatly damage the ability to maintain pressure in the system because everybody has their sprinklers running at full bore, thinking they're saving something, and in many cases what they're doing is just limiting the ability for the professional firefighters to do their job. So I understand why people do it, because you feel like I can save my house if I leave the water running, but in the end, it's probably not going to help your house, and it could actually hurt your neighborhood. So that's one thing that, some education around that could be helpful. So here's kind of how, so there's a tank picture, and mostly we work in that upper part where it says operational storage. So our day-to-day demands are mostly managed with that upper part of each of our tanks. And then, depending on the day, if you have a little bit of a power loss or you suddenly have a big need for additional water, you operate in that equalizing storage and maybe into some standby storage. Fire suppression is way down at the bottom, right? So to get through all the way through your fire suppression, you work all the way through that tank. So that is sort of helpful. We work with the fire department to determine how much fire storage we should have in each of our locations. And the dead storage it's just how you equalize in the system. You really you don't have access necessarily to that piece. So that's basically how a tank works, and that's how, you have these tanks, and the tanks are designed to use in ordinary fire situations, right? An ordinary fire, or it could be a good fire, like a 2 or 3 house fire, but we're not talking about 12,000 homes, right? So just let's be clear about that. We have 34 reservoirs online and 3 that are finishing up construction. We have more than 105 million gallons of storage in our system. The airport number 3, so the big one that we built out with the other 2 checkerboards, came online in 2024. We're still doing a few minor tweaks there. We actually have a small Beacon Hill one that was completed by the developer, and that's online now. And we will finish the second Thorpe Road tank up in the 195 area. It's in, if you drive up there, you will see another tank. We're doing some mechanical work inside, and that will fill. That's a 5 million gallon tank. And then the Hamblin tank is scheduled to come online also later this spring. And that's one, again, a pedestal with the bulb on top. So here's what some of them look like. Here's all the new tanks in our system. So that makes us more resilient to have more places of storage. Pumping capacity, we have 8 well stations, 29 pumps, with a capacity of running 210,000 gallons per minute. We have to do tests to say if the largest pump were out at each site, what could we pull? And we can pull 175,000 gallons a minute with the largest pump out at each site. So that is another way that you have to look at whether your system is resilient and has redundancy. And we have 34 booster stations and 69 pumps. Here's, we've been working on our projects. So Havana Well Phase 1 is in service. Hoffman Well, we just rehabilitated. Central Well, we did pump replacements. Those are actually done. It doesn't have the year on it. And then we're working on Well Electric, Nevada Well, and Ray Street for additional improvements. Here's all the booster station work that we're working on. So we completed the 5 Mile booster in 2022. Beacon Hill booster was completed in 24. Cedar Hills, another booster. Sunset booster. 9th and Pine, we're fixing, replacing that station, which is kind of behind the hospitals. Plains booster, that one's just getting underway. That's one that the county contributed $1 million to help serve the West Plains. It's also known as, I think, Plains booster, but Spotted Road booster is, I think, how most people know that one. But that will continue to help in that area. We're going to replace the Shawnee booster, and that begins this year. And then here's some other ones at Thorpe and Indian Trail. So we're continuing to make sure that those booster stations and those pumps are in good working order so that we can use them when we need them. And then backup power is something we've really worked on a lot lately. We have 3 trailer-mounted generators that we can move from site to site. As we upgrade our sites, we're adding permanent backup generation of power so that we don't have to bring a temporary generator in. We've added plug-in connections and upgraded ones in the interim for mobile generators. So basically what this is telling us is we're trying to make sure that if the power has to go out, because one of the strategies around wildfire is shutting off the power, right? So that doesn't necessarily work with needing to pull water and pumping. So we are upgrading priorities are places like Indian Trail or the West Plains or the 195 area where we have those WUI areas, the wildlife urban interface areas where wildfire is more likely. And we want to make sure that those all have the ability to continue to serve water for domestic needs, but also for firefighting needs when we have a strategy where we shut off power to make sure that lines aren't energized during winds. This is kind of a funky map, shows pressure reducing valves and different, but the colors are different pressure zones. And the point here is that the different pressure zones are interconnected and we add redundancy. Particularly in the lower parts, you can feed from upper and get more water into those areas. So what we're saying is that our systems are connected and can feed problems in a problem area. So we can move water from one pressure zone to another if we need to give them more water. And then we've also been working as a city with the fire department is working on fuels mitigation a lot. And they've had some grant funded work, $2,000 per acre. And they've been focused on city-owned parcels, but also other parcels that are in our WUI areas. And they plan 1,000 acres by the end of 2025, we're told. So this is what it looks like after they go in, right? So they go in and they do that, and you think, oh, that doesn't look great. But within a year, it looks like this, right? So you really get fresh growth, but you've gotten rid of all the scrub, you get rid of all the seedlings, you leave, the forest is healthier, but also the ability to fight fire in those areas. You lift the canopy a bit, and it makes a big difference. And here's just an example of them working on some pretty, challenging terrain that would be difficult to fight a fire, right? So fires run uphill. Here you see they're clearing on a hill. So that kind of work is really important that as we think about that, we want people to think about that on how they make their properties more fire safe, but also our fire department.
Do we, have we talked to like DNR and BLM to the extent we can to see if there's, efforts underway to do the same on surrounding lands that they're under their control? Because I know this has been an issue for a long, long time, and
Yep.
it's not always been the route taken in terms of, removing that underbrush. And so I'm just curious
Yeah.
if we've had those conversations.
Yeah, and I think we'd have to check with the fire department where they would be more frontline on that. But I do know that we have conversations with DNR, and DNR property within the city can be overgrown. And in part, I think that's partly why we're seeing DNR also trying to sell some of their sites that they haven't been able to maintain as well.
I'll quickly say fire has hired people specifically for this who did previously work for DNR
Yes.
and have helped us with that
Yes.
coordination there.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. The fuels mitigation work is really commendable, and I'm glad that, whatever grant we had to get and whatever council had to approve there, I think it's money well spent in our area.
And even private partners like Avista has given us money in grants as well to help clear, and they're working on their properties in conjunction with all these efforts.
Right. Avista does have the wildland urban interface plan. They spend a lot of time clearing out under power line corridors in particular, also looking at dead trees and things under their power lines wherever they are in the city. And people shouldn't be afraid if they see something that, they only go through areas, on a rotation. So if there's something in your neighborhood that is of a concern, you should call Avista, because they do have teams that will work on that every summer to get rid of problem trees, because that's also a concern of theirs, right? So we do have partners in this work. Now, that said, is there a perfect way to plan for an LA fire? Probably not, but we try to have as resilient and fire-resistant plan as we can.
I have a couple questions here as well. Thank you for this. I think it's going to be really helpful. And can you share some of the differences between our system and theirs? You talked about their wells running dry. What is the likelihood of any of our, of us running out of capacity to fight fires? I think I saw 105 million gallons.
Yeah, well, and I think for us, the wells aren't going to run dry, but we may lose pumps, right? So
Right.
when you work equipment like that really hard, they, just like when we're doing a full city plow, right? So the dump trucks work great every day until you're running them 24/7 for a certain number period, and then you're going to lose some of those trucks. So that's why we look at things like what does the system look like with the largest pump out at each location? But can you run the tanks dry? You could, and then once you run the tanks dry, then you're just working off the pumps, right? And so that is more challenging, because then you're working that equipment really hard. So there are limits to what the water system can provide. A municipal water system is never going to be big enough to support a fire that ultimately destroyed 12,000 homes. I don't think there would be no way to build a system that big and that robust. But what we're doing is combining that with fuels mitigation, talking to our constituents on how they manage their own property, understanding, what you can do to make things more fire safe, to report stuff. We're working with our local utility provider who now has plans that they can shut off power, which can, often it's just that, right? You get a windy day that knocks a line into the ground and sparks something, and it can be that fast in August, right? So it's having all of those plans working together that will make us as safe as we can be.
Quickly on that, I did get to go to Avista's headquarters, and they show you in half a second now their system can notice if a line has been disconnected and shut it off before it even hits the ground, which is pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So I have two more questions if nobody else has any. So you mentioned the generators, the backup generators in those areas. How are those fueled? How are those powered?
Diesel primarily, yeah.
Diesel? Okay. All right. Is that anything that's going to be a problem for us in the future with Climate Commitment Act or clean air or anything like that? Is that going to be something where we're going to have to transition off of diesel or natural gas or something on those generators?
I can't imagine that. It's an emergency backup system, right? It's not running all the time. I don't know that you can have a solar powered generator that you can rely on. I mean, I think you're going to always have to have some sort of fuel source.
I don't disagree with you, but
Yeah.
anyway. The other thing was that you had mentioned in LA, one of the things that they ran into were blocked exits. And I know we do have particular areas of the city where egress is a problem for us. And so what do we do if, like Indian Trail or Latah or something like that, it's blocked? How do we respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we have to do is make sure that we have orderly evacuation to some degree, on Indian Trail, right? So if you needed everybody to come out, all the lanes can go out and nobody goes in. You know what I mean? There are ways to work. Hopefully, you wouldn't have people just, walking out of Indian Trail, that they would still drive out of Indian Trail. But yeah, I mean, it's about making sure that you're managing that. And that's why, we have our police department involved in these kinds of things as well, because they would be probably the ones that are responsible for making sure that evacuation is managed and to direct people which way to go.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, Kevin Quicano with the grant opportunities for our bridge and highway system asset management.
Thanks, Council. Kevin Picanso, good afternoon. Presenting on two transportation grant opportunities today. First one is NHS Asset Management Program. It's a federally funded program that is administered through WashDOT. It's very narrowly defined in terms of it only funds pavement preservation type work, so grind and overlays and chip seals. So a lot of the recent work you saw this past summer, Market and Green Street, North Monroe, 29th Avenue, it was funded with a previous cycle of this grant funding program. And again, it's really focused on best management practices, and the scoring is all based on the pavement condition, and again, very narrowly defined on the type of work and the condition of roadway that they will fund. Max award is $10 million. They usually don't fund quite up to that amount. Typical awards are in the $2 to $6 million range, and that's what we've experienced with the previous awards through this program. Applications are due the 11th, and we expect to hear about the awards on sometime during the summer and would lead to 2027 construction. This is just a map of some of the locations that are under consideration. We haven't made final decisions on which locations we're submitting yet, but you see all the corridors highlighted in red. Again, they have to be on principal roadways. It can't be minor or collector arterials. It can't be local streets. So that's why you see mainly or only principals highlighted here. Probably submit 4 to 6 different corridor locations. It may not be the entirety of some of these corridors shown. Might be half a stretch of a roadway, for instance. So that was it on that particular program. I'll pause there before I jump to the next one if there's any questions.
So just quickly, Kevin, you've scored these locations in applying for the grant. Is that
That's,
what-
yeah,
Nice,
we're in the
nice.
process of doing that. It's kind of like finding a needle in the haystack of finding that right range of projects that'll score well, that makes sense to bring forward. So, yep. Okay, no other questions. Move to the second one. Second one is a local bridge program. This is also federally funded, administered through WashDOT. This will not fund new bridges. It only funds replacement, rehab, repair, and preventative maintenance type projects. The bridges have to be vehicular bridges, will not fund bike and pedestrian bridges. And you see some of the other considerations listed there, the volume that the roadway carries, freight traffic, and other considerations. The max award that they, at least at this time, is $25 million. Again, they typically don't award up quite to that amount. Typically see projects more in that $2 to $10 million range. This program has funded some of the recent bridge work you've seen. Washington Stevens bridges last year, Maple Street Bridge 2 years ago, were all funded through this same program. Expect to hear results in terms of grant awards in September, leading to 27 and 28 construction. So there's several bridges that we're considering. We'll most likely submit applications for all of these. Some of them may be bundled. So Sprague Avenue at Sprague Way, the two bridges that cross over Maple Street at Riverside and First, and then Monroe Street, those would all be more preventative maintenance and minor repair type projects, a little bit like what we saw on Maple Street Bridge. And then the fifth one is Latah Bridge. We expect Latah Bridge, our early estimates are well over $60 million. So this program couldn't fund the entirety of the project, but we do intend to submit for the design phase only, which would allow us to advance the project and then hopefully score better in future grant rounds. It's a long shot to get Latah Bridge funded, just the design phase. They rarely provide just design-only grant awards through this program. They want to see work that you're going to go get done in a couple years. But on occasion, they have awarded design dollars only. And just given the importance and criticality of that bridge, we're going to give it a shot. Not real optimistic that we'll get the design phase funded, but we're going to try. So that's it for this program, yeah?
Oh, does this allow you to, say, expand capacity on a bridge?
Generally not. Generally not. It's mostly about the kind of those areas that I mentioned, preventative maintenance, rehab.
Right.
Reason I say generally not, you can reconfigure what's on the bridge. Generally widening, they might fund it, but not, they may fund the project, but not the extra cost of widening the
Right.
bridge, as an example. They might choose to do that.
I would love to see us start looking at the bridge on Mission off of Perry and to see what we could do there in terms of expanding that and just making that a safer bridge, because it's so tight, so narrow now, and there's just very limited things you can do there.
Yeah, one of the interesting things with this program, it's very much based on the bridge condition and the inspection ratings, and they're very narrowly defined. It's a very prescribed process that all agencies have to follow for their bridge inspections. And if you don't satisfy certain criteria, they won't even consider it. So we find that a lot with some of our bridges where we feel like some repair needs to be made or some work that needs to be done, but it doesn't quite qualify. So that's a challenge with this program. And I think you all understand just the need statewide is so great for bridge rehab that this is a pretty competitive program, and there's lots of needs that are out there. So, no more questions?
Yeah. I guess my question is for some of our larger bridge projects, because none of these are going to qualify in that. What's the pool of funding we're fighting for there to see some of our bigger projects getting met?
Well, there was the Bridge Investment Program. There was a newer program that was released with the previous federal infrastructure bill. It remains to be seen whether that program will continue or not. That's a highly competitive program. We did apply for Latah Bridge a couple years ago. We weren't awarded. The feedback we received was you weren't far enough along in design and environmental work, which is part of the reason we're trying to advance that within our design phase. So that BIP program is one of them. The new version of RAISE, I think they've rebranded it already as BUILD. It's an acronym, and don't ask me what the words are behind the acronym, but they just rebranded it here in the last month or so. That's another opportunity as well. And those are the types of programs that we would look for in a future application. But again, hoping to advance the design and environmental clearance so that it will score better in those types of programs. So,
And Kevin, before you go on, you might just want to speak to that SRTC, that some of this is all collaborative, and how our area is competitive for some of the grants that we are looking to receive. We have our own kind of rating system as a region about main roads and bridges and how they score. So there is a process going on behind the scenes as well.
There is
Then-
that. That mainly applies to the SRTC-specific call for projects, which I presented on last month. Yeah, there is a relationship there. There's some other similar programs. There's an SRTC preservation program. It's very similar to this NHS asset management program, but it scores and looks at the projects a little bit differently. So there is that difference at the regional level. And that does, if there aren't any more questions, it does relate to one more item that I wanted to get to today. This is kind of a late, kind of hot off the press item. Last month, I did present on the SRTC call for projects. There have been some recent discussions, kind of a joint effort with state parks, the county, and city parks to look at an application for Upriver Drive and really specifically the Centennial Trail to look at upgrading the portions of the trail that really aren't to today's standards. Some of the stretches through there really aren't a trail at all, or just essentially a striped bike lane with no separation and protection. So after some discussion, kind of a very recent decision made late last week, kind of agreeing to pursue this as the lead agency with those groups. The local match, if the award were granted, would be through the Centennial Trail Coordinating Council, not local city dollars, but given that most of the stretch is within the city, we agreed to be the lead agency in partnership with these groups. So I didn't mention this last month, so I just wanted to take this opportunity to mention that it's a potential application here.
Yeah, I have a question on how that would work, and I don't know if this is an appropriate time, but would that be out like on the north or the south side of Upriver?
That's what the study would look at is all those options. It's on the south side of Upriver today.
Right.
I would assume the first thought would be to keep it there. Some stretches of it are fine. You know, if you drive it, it's highly variable. It changes kind of conditions and layout really through this whole stretch through here. So it'd be focused on the areas that really aren't up to kind of current standards and aren't separated or aren't the appropriate width.
Yeah, because maybe I'm misremembering, but some of the portions of that road where the road and the river get pretty tight, and so I'm not.
Which is
Yeah.
why it is the way it is today, more narrow. So yeah, that's what the study wants to look at is, you know, what are the options for improving it? So
I think, Kevin, we had you down for the Thorpe tunnels as well. Do you
I
want to go ahead and
can
do that?
that one next. Yeah, I can pivot to that. So while Jacoby brings that up, we submitted a contract for a consultant contract for the Thorpe Tunnels preliminary engineering. Submit that as a consent item, but is requested to speak about it today. Don't know if there's a specific question, but I just got a couple slides. This kind of in a nutshell highlights why we need to do the study. The existing tunnels today are only 8 to 9 foot travel width. You see the signs that are noted there. To the right, one truck at a time in the tunnel. So when you have those real large vehicles, full-size pickups with trailers, school buses and such, essentially the tunnel operates as a one-way tunnel, which then reduces the capacity of the tunnel. So that's what our study is aiming to look at. Just got a couple other photos here of the same from different perspectives, but just kind of a quick fact sheet of, you know, what we're doing and what we're looking at. The objective is to really look at all different options for increasing the capacity of the tunnel, whether that's through building a parallel tunnel and have each of the separate tunnels operate in one way on, you know, for each of the tunnels, or completely reconstruct tunnels altogether. So it'll look at multiple tunneling or improvement options. I think everyone knows this. There are two different tunnels very close to each other, the Fish Lake Trail Tunnel and then the BNSF Tunnel. The BNSF tunnel is going to be a more challenging one. You got an active rail line that you have to figure out how to keep in operation. So that'll be part of this preliminary engineering work is to find a viable solution and work through the BNSF process. They control that corridor. At the end of the day, whatever solutions we come up with, they have to be on board with. So it'll be a big part of this work is that coordination and interaction with them. So.
Sorry, Mr. Question. But the coordination with BNSF, how does that typically go? Because I've looked at some of, you know, maybe our viaducts downtown and wondered, you know, if those were in need of being updated. And so how does that work?
In general, I'm not going to profess to be an expert at the process, and that's why we're bringing some folks on board who do have that expertise. But in general, for something like this, you want to start reach out to them at really outset of the project and kind of set the groundwork and sort of the ground rules going forward for how that planning work has to occur. They need to be engaged early on. They have some formal processes on their own, on their end to work the project through the process internally to get to the point where they can essentially accept or buy off on what your intent or plan is to move forward with final design. So I don't know if that answers your question. It's like working with any other agencies, there's just a lot of coordination back and
Yeah,
forth, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's their corridor, it's their private property, they kind of control. a
I
lot.
guess this might not be a you question, but do they have like a work plan of some kind where it's like, we can see like if these projects are ever gonna come on up?
I've asked that for other projects.
Yeah.
You don't get much of a detailed answer. I suspect they have a list somewhere.
It's worth an ask, I guess.
We can ask that at the outset.
I was gonna say, I'll ask. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't-
that,
but yeah.
yep, you're
Okay.
welcome to do that. My guess is they don't have plans to go widen the tunnel for us anytime soon, but.
Or just repair it.
I'm just curious, do we typically or traditionally use impact fees for this stage of a project? In my mind, it's usually for the actual implementation.
This was kind of decision was made with the last impact fee update because it's not a minor study at all. And because we didn't know what the cost of that solution was, the agreement at that time was the preliminary engineering work would be added to the impact fee program and funded by it in order to advance this work.
Okay.
So I don't know that I can't think of another example where we have an impact fee project that needs this level of analysis and study. Most of the impact fee projects are a little bit smaller in scale and nature, and that's work that we just would do in-house generally. But this is just much more sizable in its complexity and need.
And I get that. I just think out there, with all the various needs, even just improving some safety stuff on the highway as a result, as it relates to the J-turns and things like that might be more substantial in terms of actual, near-term traffic impact than this. Not to say this doesn't need to happen, but just in my mind, that's just kind of where it goes, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Next up, we have Adam McDaniel with Truck Routes.
While Jacoby is pulling it up really quick, this is an ordinance to update our designated truck routes, which hasn't been updated since 1995. So a few changes since then. Most of it is just code cleanup, but there are a few adds that we'll go through. Deer Heights Road from 12th Avenue to 21st, Electric Avenue and 53rd Avenue from Hayford to Geiger, Flint Road from the city limits to Airport Drive, Hayford Road from Electric Avenue to McFarlane Road, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard from Division to Trent, US 2 from Deer Heights Road to I-90, US 395 from the city limits to Wellesley, I'll talk about in just a second, and 21st Avenue from the west city limits to Technology Boulevard. And then the ones that are being removed is the Trent Avenue from Division to the east city limits, and that's being replaced by Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard from Division to Trent. And the other one that's being removed is a good one, and that's the Market and Haven couplet in the Freya, so that truck traffic will now go on US 395 and the central business district right through Hilliard to be hopefully.
Whatever gets completed.
Yeah, that'd be great. Any questions?
Obviously. But I do appreciate getting some of it off for the north-south corridor, and hopefully our state legislators keep that in the pipeline and we don't lose funding there. But, okay, so it hasn't been updated since 95, right? That's a long time. Do you have an opinion on what's a good interval for us to be updating this?
That's probably a Public Works question, I'm not sure, but
I'll ask another.
probably quicker than 30 years,
Yeah.
probably.
For the Martin Luther King, I totally understand taking it off Trent, especially with the medical school and the changes there. That makes a lot of sense. But do you have a sense, though, of the volume of traffic? Because it still is sort of a corridor that I wouldn't necessarily say is for truck traffic, and so would be worried if it'd be a heavy volume going through there.
Yeah, I don't know if we have those truck counts, but I can find out from Public Works, or you can go to somebody. It'd be great.
Thank you.
I would just echo that on the MLK. It almost serves like a green belt right now from Division as it winds around to pick up on Trent Avenue. So I like a truck count at some point as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
We have also a short presentation from Mark Papich about the Hillendale Stormwater Facility.
So not much of a presentation, but this is a design grant from the Department of Ecology for planning and design for a treatment and infiltration facility at Hillendale Park. It's going to happen this year. I don't know if there are any specific questions you had.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to know what was going to happen in that park. I mean, we don't have a ton of parks in that neighborhood, you know, that's
Yeah.
one of two, and it's a very tiny one, and we have some issues there, so just kind of wanted to hear more about
Yeah,
what's
so the
gonna happen.
specifics of what it's going to look like, you know, that'll be part of this work, but preliminarily, we're thinking it's all going to be underground stuff, so, you know, the actual look and feel of the park shouldn't change all that much from what you see today.
Is it going to disrupt the people being able to use it in the summertime?
No,
Okay.
that would not be the intent. Yep.
I guess I'm not entirely sure where you would, you know, cite the equipment and everything else, but obviously we have a pretty serious camping problem at that park that is at times unabated, and so I would just wonder, would there be security or concerns for the equipment and materials, things
No,
like that?
I mean, if it works like we think it will, it'll be a pretty passive system, so there won't be, you know, any mechanical, electrical, anything like that. So it would really be kind of an underground vault system that would ultimately go into dry wells. So it should be pretty safe in that regard. Yep.
Help me understand the time frame this would happen in.
Well, so this is for planning and design. So, you know, say we do that in a year. Once we complete that process, we're then eligible to go and get construction money for it. So, you know, it's realistically 3 years probably would be the quickest we could get it in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
And now we have Maren for our climate planning project update. Maren Murphy, sorry.
Thank you. I also have Logan Callan here. We're going to share a update. We were previously at Urban Experience. This PIES committee comes after the Climate Resilience and Sustainability Board, so it just allows us to maybe be a little bit more timely instead of previewing what we're going to talk about, actually talk about what we're going to talk about. So going forward, we'll be at the PIES committee for climate planning. Oh, and that's me. Okay, so today, just an update, just keeping y'all informed on the process as we go throughout. So we finished our community survey and shared the summary of that. So I'll go over some high-level discussion points to draw attention to, and then a little bit on upcoming engagement. And then Logan will also share more on the Climate Vulnerability Index tool that we shared via a link. And as always, this is funded by the Climate Commitment Act. So we are finishing up with phase 1 of funding in June, and then hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll be applying for our phase 2 funding and get access to the rest of our funds through June 2026. For anyone tuning in at home, as a reminder, this is part of our House Bill 1181 requirements to integrate climate planning into the comprehensive plan. And a couple focus areas there. One is mitigate greenhouse gas emissions and vehicle miles traveled. That's something that Logan and his team has been working on with the greenhouse gas inventory. Second is building our climate resiliency, and that is our ability to plan for and adapt and respond to climate changes. And that's a lot of what we're working on right now with the current grant. And then there's also special consideration for environmental justice and land use and transportation goals. So when we get to those discussions in phase 2, we'll have some more awareness around that. Quick look at our timeline. So again, mentioned phase 1. So we've done some of the foundational elements or components for this work. We shared that last month. And moving into the Climate Risk and Vulnerability Assessment, or the CRVA, which is kind of a framework to identify vulnerabilities and sensitivities and understand risks of different parts of our community or our resources. So we're going to be working through that with our consultant and our staff and engagement over the next couple of months, and we hope to have that done in May, I believe. And then, again, as I mentioned, phase 2, we'll get into more of the policy development and integrating that into the comprehensive plan overall to stay on track with our deadline of June 2026. So again, just as a reminder of some of the deliverables that we have, and these are all available on our climate planning website. So we talked about 2 memos last month, climate impacts and climate justice memo, which helps set the foundation for understanding what climate impacts we're facing as a community, who and where who is at risk and where those risks lie as well throughout the community. And then the climate policy audit gives us a foundational understanding of what gaps or strengths we currently have as far as climate policy. So those are available on our website, my.spokanecity.org/climate planning. And then we also have a summary of some the neighborhood council outreach that we did in December and some themes that were discussed there. So now I want to talk about the climate planning survey. So this is a survey that we completed in January, was out for just about 2 months. We got over 1,500 responses, and we really worked with the city's digital media and our communications team to help promote this and get the word out. We had blog posts, news release, working with partner organizations to help spread the word. So part of that was providing it in 6 different languages, and some of the promotion statistics just wanted to share. We had a total of 13 city newsletters from various departments, including the citywide community update newsletter, reached over 80,000 unique emails, and resulted in over 800 individual clicks to learn about the survey. And then collectively through the city's social media channels, was promoted to accounts over 500,000 times, seen 190,000 times, and engaged with 1,300 times. We also reached out to Spokane Public Schools and utilized their Peach Jar platform that sends out information to families, and got 15,000 impressions there, so that was a nice partnership. And then just community distribution, getting it out in well-seen places, libraries, community centers. As we talk about the survey itself, just wanted to highlight the value of lived experience. So a lot of the data that we collected in the climate impacts and climate justice memo was the kind of the data-driven, the quantitative analysis, looking at statistics and historic data. The survey provides us with an understanding of the lived experience, connecting with the community, hearing directly from them on the experiences, concerns, opportunities that they see. So gives us a little bit of some local understanding, provides insight into how individuals perceive and navigate their community in Spokane. Human-centered insights, highlights personal stories. We had some open-ended questions, so able to kind of hear in people's own words how they're thinking about climate and what impacts they're seeing. So that's just a little bit about why the survey is important and kind of helps us build an understanding that we can continue forward in our engagement. So some of the analysis here, we did collect some demographic data. It was optional for people to answer, but it helps us understand how our data is reflecting the Spokane community overall, and helping us understand how our conclusions are, again, being representative of that. So I'm going to go over a few demographic points before going into the climate impacts part of it. So just upfront, location-wise, when asked about the zip code of where people live, work, or go to school in Spokane, we saw some really strong engagement in Northwest and the southern areas of the city, and a little bit less engagement in the Northeast, which is part of our ongoing engagement going forward, is to try to reach more people in the Northeast. So I'll talk about that in a little bit with our next strategy. Some demographics. So we have fairly spread out, but generally over 35, we saw the most responses. And then as far as race and ethnicity, we saw participants had a higher percentage of survey takers that was more diverse than the city overall. So I think that helps point to maybe reaching the people that might be impacted by climate. It's kind of a self-selection, but happy to see that we had some good range there. For household income, about 37% of survey respondents are at or below Spokane's median household income. And we did have a higher percentage of homeowners respond to the survey than at the city overall. And then, so the breakdown between homeowners and renters you see there, and then other could be people living with other people, not paying rent, or maybe just didn't live in the city, but wanted to take the survey anyway. So we also saw about a third of survey respondents had children in the household. So a little bit about reactions to climate impacts. So again, we do have some open-ended questions. I'm just going to go over some of the multiple choice questions to kind of get an understanding. So this question, have you been impacted by any of the following extreme weather and climate hazards in Spokane? The top one is smoke from wildfires, followed by extreme heat, and then intense storms. When we look at that by income, so we're able to kind of filter responses and then kind of do some cross-tabulation to understand how that might differ per different groups. So when we look at it by income, we see an increase in, still smoke from wildfires is very high, but we see an increase in extreme heat and extreme cold, and that might be attributed to the cost of heating or cooling someone's house, cost of utilities. So some interesting takeaways there. How have extreme weather and climate hazards affected you personally in the past 5 years? So again, we have the top result was rising costs of living and basic needs. I think we kind of see that in the previous response as well. Changes to recreational activities, could be summer or winter. And then also impacts around physical and mental health. And when we, again, look at, for example, by income, we see that that there's an increase in concern over rising costs at the income level, so consistent with what we've heard. And then also an increase, again, in the mental and physical health impacts.
Martin, can I ask a quick question? Just using the rising costs as the example, how do we know, or how do they know that the rising costs aren't the result of inflation, tariffs, all kinds of other things? How do they know specifically that it's the result of climate change?
I mean, let's see here. Well, some of them might have had responses, open-ended questions that might get into this a little bit more. We can investigate further.
Is there crosstabs that you can share with us?
Yeah, we have some provided in the report, but if you're something specific you want to look at, and I think some of the open-ended responses do kind of talk about heating and cooling specifically and the cost of utilities around that as one of the impacts that people are feeling as far as income.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I kind of read that as the utility question, particularly in our cold months. We're all seeing the large impacts.
Yeah, and we've heard that in some other community conversations. So I think it's something to just investigate further and understand what constraints people are feeling. And then, the city has taken opportunities to try to provide support for that in our cooling shelters in the summer or warming shelters in the winter. So there's definitely some conversations to explore and dive into around that specifically. For this one, this is just an example of looking at it by age as well, so another way to kind of cross-tabulate the data. And we see an increase in mental health impacts at the young age, and I think there's a lot of consistency with terms of climate anxiety and feelings of young people thinking about the future. So we also want to further explore outreach with young people in Spokane and kind of understand those impacts a bit more. And then wanted to just end this one with, as you look to the future, how concerned are you with the following extreme weather and climate impacts in the city of Spokane? So kind of a 1-2 punch there with wildfire and wildfire smoke. And then the third one being extreme heat. So I don't think anything sort of monumental, all conversations that we have in the summer, but if nothing else, just good indicators that what we're hearing and what we're seeing in data is reflected from the community. So next steps, we're going to be out a bit more this spring. We'll be at Riverfront Spring Market in April. We're kind of looking at April as kind of Earth Month, focusing a lot of our efforts there. So we're going to be doing some, I'm going to jump down to the last one, the Earth Day Community Workshop. We'll have that on Earth Day, April 22nd in the evening at the West Central Community Center. So we're just starting some promotion around that. So you'll expect to see a lot more coming up. But that is one focus that we're going to try to get out and have some community conversations and kind of hear from people, similar to what we're doing at the comprehensive plan workshops as well. And then in April and May, we also want to dive into some focus groups, specifically around Northeast Spokane, around youth and young adult, and then also exploring a bit more on frontline communities, so communities that face the first and the worst impacts of climate, and understand a bit more how those impacts are being felt. So we're in the early stages of planning for those, and we'll certainly look forward to connecting with people and planning those.
How will you be determining participation in the focus groups?
We're going to start some reach out with different partners, and focus groups are going to be smaller than a workshop, but hopefully we'll identify people that might be interested, have a sign up, and kind of see the interest that we get, and then figure out, if it's enough for one, then we'll kind of move forward with that. But we're going to rely on some partners to help us get the word out.
I just want to make sure it's not a narrowly tailored, curated number of folks, and that it's a broad, diverse group of, groups and individuals that would be participating in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if, we can work with you all if there's key routes that you want us to connect with and or people that might be interested, for sure, especially around Northeast Spokane geographically. That one we're looking at holding in person at the Northeast Community Center. So just wanted to put a plug out as well for our periodic update workshops. This is all part of the comprehensive plan. So we've had 2 workshops earlier this month, and we have 2 next week as well, District 2 and District 3. They're open to anybody, so if you missed one of the earlier ones, you're welcome to come to these, but we'll have some specific district maps at these ones. And of course, you can learn more at planspokane.org. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Logan to dive into our Climate Vulnerability Index.
Hey, everybody. So, yeah, in terms of working on the Climate Risk and Vulnerability Index, kind of what we want to do, right, is gather the lived experience, but also understand it from a quantitative perspective. And so I kind of presented this last time I was here, so I'm not going to go in deep, but the critical thing to take away here is, first, you have to understand what exposures do we have as a community. Then from those exposures, where are our sensitivities, or where can we adapt? That gives us a better view of what are the vulnerabilities for our community. And then as we pull in the lived experience through these surveys, workshops, focus groups, and all that, then we get a better, more robust picture of what the vulnerabilities are for our community. And so to do this in a climate risk and vulnerability assessment, we wanted to create a mapping tool to give us spatial understanding of how this works. And so quick high level indexes you've seen many places before, but really what you do is you look at an indicator, what's the average, what's the standard deviations from the average to say what's out of whack for our average here in Spokane. And that's kind of the important part of developing our own tool is there's Department of Health for the whole state, but it doesn't focus in on our community. This data all looks at just our community, what's the average in our community, and the differences away from average for our community. So that's kind of the critical piece of this, is it's really focused and tailored to the issues in our community. And so we get a whole host of indicators for exposure, for sensitivity, for adaptation, and we calculate each of those layers to get those what's the average and what's the differences for each of the census block groups. And that then gives us mapping ability. This map right here just shows, okay, map people with disabilities. The darker the color, the higher the population with disabilities in those census block groups. But not only are we mapping these indicators, we're also mapping a variety of assets, right? Where are the hospitals? Where are the clinics? Where are the fire and law enforcement stations? That way we can see, is there areas where there's a lot of disability but not a lot of services? It allows us to not only look at the high level, but we can dive into very specific categories to learn more about it for our community. And so when we look at the climate exposure indicators that you can see there on the left, if we stack all of those together in a single layer called an exposure index, that's what we see as our community, where the exposures are highest are in red, lowest exposures are in blue. And so that's kind of the view of like, what are we being exposed to from those indicators across the city? And so you can kind of see, right, we've got that northwest, northeast, those are kind of the primarily very high. And you could see there, mainly that's a lot from extreme heat, extreme precipitation, and then air quality, as well as the wildfire, specifically in the northwest. So now that we know the exposure issues, now we look, okay, where are people sensitive though, right? Where's both people and our assets sensitive? And so here you can see, people with health conditions, people with age-related issues, and you can see how that maps. That one's a little more broken apart throughout the city. There's a variety of different areas that show up as the very high. And so you can kind of see, a lot of that Lake Tahoe-Hangman Valley, right? There's impaired water there, so there's that kind of pulls up a lot of that water area. But some of those, like southeast areas, that's where there's a lot of senior living. And so a lot of people with health conditions, older age, they're going to get impacted by certain things worse there. And then when we look at adaptive capacity, kind of what that means is, what is the current ability to already adapt to things, right? So for example, where there's high income, you're able to adapt to things. If a tree falls on your house, you maybe have better insurance, you have the ability to go stay in a hotel, something like that, right? You have more adaptive capacity when issues do occur. And so when you stack all those indicators together, it gives you that map on the right showing where's the highest capacity to change, the blue, so that's good. You want to have high capacity to adapt to changing conditions. The orange part is where it's low, right? So that's where people are more resource constrained and can't adapt to changes as well. So what we do then, and you can kind of see that's still just like the exposure, that's a lot of the north is lower adaptive capacity. So then when you take those three layers and you stack them together to give a full total view of this all, this is what you see in terms of the total exposure, sensitivity, and capacity into a single climate vulnerability index. So you can see Northeast Spokane is a primarily very high vulnerability, but you can see there's definitely different census block groups that are also high throughout the city. And so this is an important tool to allow us to understand when we're looking at different issues around our community, we can use this mapping tool to better understand the concerns of those specific areas. It also allows us to have a public comment feature, and so this is part of the engagement that we'll also be doing is people can add comments to say, oh, my street floods here in extreme rain events, stuff that there's not already good mapping for. We can have the community add data pieces to allow us to have a better understanding from a spatial perspective as well. And so,
Before you go, on that prior map, do you have census tracts that correlate to that map that you could share?
yeah, these are all census block groups.
So, okay.
And so in the mapping, you can actually click on any of these to see the block group, and it'll then tell you every indicator and component within it. And so, you can also look at it by census tract, council district. There's a few other administrative boundary layers that you can use as well.
So is there a tool then that we can use to basically turn on and off different pieces so we can see, broadly speaking, District 1 or whole city, what's the vulnerability for this issue or that issue or the...
Great question, and that's exactly what we did build into this, because a lot of communities, when they do this, they just put together the high-level map, and that's just what they do is their structure. What we wanted to do is make sure that it could answer any detail level of question. So not only is the climate vulnerability index there, the exposure and capacity and adaptive capacity, but every sub-layer as well is there. So you could just, so for example, if you wanted to look at smoke concerns, you can turn on the air quality layer and where people have asthma, and then see where those hot spots are landing, which will look different than the rolled up look. So it allows us to, anybody in the community, to think about a topic or an issue and layer in whatever concerns they have.
And how do we, just using the asthma as an example, how do we know? Are we using like anonymized medical records or how
so
is that?
the asthma data comes from CDC data.
Okay.
So all the health statistic data that they typically capture.
Okay.
And so when you go to the story map, that link was sent to you, but it's also now live on the climate planning website that you can check out. It has a story map that kind of gives you a little explanation of, the background. It doesn't just drop you to a map and let you try and figure it out. But in that story map view, it'll go right to the index, but then just like any GIS kind of tool, you can turn on and off a variety of layers. And so there's not only just these hazards and sensitivities, there's different assets like where are wetlands, where are water bodies, where are bridges, where are any kind of asset that we want to look at. And so that's again what's going to be helping us analyze for our community from a quantitative perspective. Where are these issues when we're talking about stormwater, when we're talking about health and well-being? It allows us to really get data focused.
I would just also point out, you talked about adaptability and in particular Northeast Spokane, not necessarily having the financial means and not just Northeast, but use that example. And I would just say, I think that should apply the other direction. Overregulation, increasing the cost of housing, higher property taxes, taxes in general. They don't have the ability to adapt to those things. And so I hope, very much hope, that is very foremost in your minds as you're going through this process.
Yeah, and actually, what I want to bring up about the survey, too, that came up from one of the questions is how do we know about cold and heat? Well, actually, we saw it a lot on the survey is even people in higher income areas, their natural gas costs over the past few winters have gone up significantly. And those costs have gone up significantly. And so, they may be higher income, but that still affects everybody's bottom line, And so that's definitely what we heard, especially with aging housing condition. A lot of the South Hill and the Northwest are really old housing, which we see in the mapping. And that's where people were talking about actually having higher utility costs, is where they have older houses with windows that leak their heat in the winter. And so definitely part of the lived experience. And so I appreciate that comment because that's why we're doing the survey and the engagement is the data is not going to tell us everybody's lived experience. And so understanding that, the data may say one thing, but we need to take into account the lived experience throughout the whole process.
Well, and just again on utilities, I hope there might be a closer look at, the justification that Avista gives to the Utility Commission as to why they have to raise rates and, what actions have taken place to do that. Is it state regulation? Is it, some other change federally or where we get our power and other places? And so I just think that it's important that we really look at what is the underlying reason that that has gone up. And is it, is climate change just changing the temperature, and so people are turning the heat up higher or the cold, up higher? I don't know, but I think it'd be good to take a look and research that a little bit closer.
Yeah, I'll say I'm going to be coming back in a month or so to talk about greenhouse gas inventory work, and what we are seeing is increased natural gas costs. And when we look at the heating degree days, basically the measure of how much heating you need to do in the winter to stay warm, it's gone up significantly in the past few years. So I'll have more details on that in upcoming. Yeah. Any other questions on that?
That's all. So we'll be back next month and just kind of share an update, keep you guys informed as we go throughout. We have our climate planning website, and happy to go over anything in more detail.
Just a quick comment. I just really appreciate all the engagement and outreach that you all are doing. I think it really is making a difference, and it's exciting to see a lot of the web results too, and the analytics reflect that. And also really appreciate you, Maureen, being at the Human Rights and Equity Subcommittee and giving that report. That was really helpful too. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have Abby giving us her update.
Good afternoon. The first thing that I wanted to mention is that Council President, after we, at AWC last summer, Peter Kageyama was one of our main keynote speakers, and Council President has since reached out and is inviting him here to Spokane. Downtown Spokane Partnership has also reached out to him and is bringing him back in May. We tried to coordinate those events, and it just the timing didn't work out, but he's going to be joining us with mayor's department heads for professional development kind of training discussion, which you all have a calendar hold on for, and I just think will be enriching and encouraging kind of discussion. And then he will also be hosting a community event free for the public at the Spokane Central Library. So encourage the public to attend. You also have a calendar hold for that. The second thing I wanted to mention was William has been interning with us from Eastern Washington on his post-baccalaureate degree in data science. He's been an enormous help to me. He's worked with the administration and several of you on kind of key projects, and so just wanted to highlight his work. And the teacher in me really loves the concept of internships and mentoring, so that's been lovely. Thirdly, we have the town hall tonight, which will be a different format than we've typically done, and I'll be attending to be available if that's necessary. Hopefully not necessary, but available if that's helpful. And then lastly, have just been working on gathering information for the annual report for CTAB, which was dissolved last year, so the report is a little bit complicated, needing to gather information from different departments. Y'all's last year report was also super complicated because there were so many rotations in the council, which is the overseeing body, but I'll figure it out. So that's it for me, unless y'all have questions.
Thank you.
We're actually taking the night off for the town hall. You're answering all the questions. Just kidding.
Don't, I'm out. Thank you.
So next we have our external boards and committees and commissions updates. I guess we'll skip airport board for the moment and go to Broadlink.
Yeah, so just two things. There is a kind of a delay in the allocation of some of the grants. There's a USDA grant that Broadlink is pursuing, as well as the BEAD grants that have been ongoing for a couple of years now. There is an expectation that those will not be affected by the change in federal administration, so that's a good thing. And so we're going to move forward with design, and we're already at 40% on that. And this is mostly work that's in the rural areas. And then also we'll be sending a letter, or I think the letter's probably already gone out, to Senator Murray requesting direct appropriations to start an ACP pilot. And so you may not know, but the ACP program has gone away, and that is the lower cost broadband internet for lower income people. And so we're trying to see if we can start something locally that would be, Broadlink board would have some direct influence over, but it'd be a third party that actually runs it. And so we're looking to do that.
Thank you. Spokane Transit, who wants to go first?
Yeah, I would say last month I was just getting ready for the scope and sequence of the Connect 2035. We have a board workshop this Thursday about that, where they're going to be presenting kind of the order that they go. You were at that committee meeting, so you got a little preview of it. And on the CEO search, the application's all live, and the consultants are doing their first review, and the committee will review those mid-April.
Anything from Pemer?
Yeah, I would just say there's been a lot of discussion on the finance side, a number of expenditures to basically for a number of reasons, but to invest in some of the electric buses to make sure that they don't, are not unworkable into the future, early, near term in the future. And so there's been a few complications with a company going out of business that we purchased some of those from. So the Pemer committee did approve to go to the full board, I think, some of those. And then there's also discussions on investments and what investments to make in order to comply with the Clean Buildings Act. And I think there's going to be a broader board discussion of that this week at the board meeting. And there's been some real estate conversations. Some of that was exec session, so can't go too far into that. But yeah, so I guess that's what I got.
Thank you. Also of note, I think, is the changing state and federal funding pictures. And so STA is looking at ways to roll out the bus rapid transit on North Division in ways that keeps that project moving forward, regardless of what happens with funding for the North-South corridor and for our local investment. Sometimes it's better to keep a project having momentum so that when we go back to different funding sources, they can't say this project hasn't moved forward in 2 years. So that's the reason what we're looking at scalability for that.
Yeah, I would just say momentum is fine, but I was very concerned when it was mentioned that we might just forge ahead regardless of the NSE, and I think they're intrinsically tied. They must remain intrinsically tied, and the threat of the removal of NSC funding this year should be something that folks who are big supporters of the Division Street project are deathly afraid of.
Yeah, so I think there's a pretty concerted effort from all of our regional governments to make sure that North-South corridor doesn't get forgotten, and it's kind of crazy to think of it just hanging out there halfway built. So
CEO
contact
search?
your legislators.
CEO search.
Yeah, I said that the consultant is reviewing those, and the committee will get that update mid-April.
So Spokane Regional Transportation Council hasn't been particularly exciting in the last 2 months, but we are looking at the regional call for projects. So that's the big project that our staff is working on, trying to get applications that are competitive ready for this regional funding opportunity. Transportation Commission, who wants to report on that? I have a conflict with that. Okay. We'll have Abby report on that.
Thank you again. We meet on Wednesday. I think the commission has been really fruitful commentary. upcoming topics, we're going to review some of their responsibilities are upcoming, like, for example, CTAB, which has been dissolved. They now need to assume those responsibilities. So those things are coming up on the docket. Other folks from Public Works have been very integral, and streets, so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And Spokane Salmon Restoration Collaborative, we had a scintillating meeting trying to work out our bylaws at our last meeting, and that was fascinating, but that's all I have to report so far. Spokane Solid Waste Advisory Committee, I am thrilled to announce that we actually have a meeting coming up on the 19th, which hasn't happened since I've been on council, so yay for that. And that concludes.
I was on that board, I think, for 2 years, and we didn't meet once, so.
And Airport Board, Council President.
Well, I'm happy to say we have an interim CEO. His name is Frank Miller. He should be coming for the council very soon. We'll be approving the land sale to the airport for economic development out there, so exciting times.
Thank you, and that concludes our business for today's PIES Committee meeting. See us again at 3:30 for agenda review.